Welcome to this episode of 60 Second Retail, a BDO podcast keeping you in the know on events and trends in the retail and consumer products industry impacting your bottom line in just a few short minutes.
Welcome back to the 60 Second Retail Podcast. I'm your host, Natalie Cutler, National Leader of the Retail and Consumer Products Industry Group at BDO. Today, we're diving into the complex world of technology investments for retail CIOs. As the digital landscape evolves, retailers face the challenge of aligning their tech strategies with their unique circumstances and maturity levels. In this episode, we'll explore the three pivotal stages that CIOs encounter on their journey to digital innovation with our guest, Dan Laubscher. Dan is going to share insights and best practices for navigating each stage, ensuring your technology investments drive efficiency and profitability. So sit back and listen as we unravel the intricacies of prioritizing tech investments in the retail sector. Welcome back to the show, Dan.
Pleasure to be here, Natalie. Thank you very much.
Great. To kick things off, maybe we can tell our listeners what are the three stages a retail CIO might find themselves facing today when looking to prioritize technology investments.
Sure thing. There's three areas that you should be thinking about in the retail landscape with technology or digital investments. The first area would be keeping the lights on, or KTLO. So the keeping your systems up and active, and a lot around the compliance area. The second area that I feel is really important when it comes to the digital landscape and retail is business enablement versus technology debt. So the ability to enable business functions while balancing that with your technology debt. And then the final area that kind of brings it all together for retail executives and CIOs is the alignment of the IT investments with a company's strategic goals. That comes utterly important as part of the process to make sure that you're not wasting your investments or missing opportunities.
So those are some really interesting stages. And maybe what we could do is do a little bit more of a deep dive into each one of these and maybe pull out some of the key points that our listeners would want to consider in each of these. So let's start with keep the lights on. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so keep the lights on is a combination of a few things. First of all are your systems capable of running next year, 2 years, 3 years down the road? Or do you need to start making investments in that infrastructure in order to maintain it? So it's keeping the lights on, figuratively and effectively keeping the lights on. The second part of that really for me is about compliance as well. So when you're keeping the lights on, you're maintaining your compliance standards. And a big one in the retail industry is PCI. And it causes you to update your systems monthly, making sure that you are on systems that are able to be supported. Another area of compliance you might think about is SOX compliance, which is really another key area that you need to make sure that your system is up to date and you have the proper controls. And that falls under that keeping the lights on and making sure that your business is able to function moving forward for a period of time and aligning those investments with that.
So that sounds pretty basic. And so maybe we go from there and we move on to business enablement. What does that look like from a retailer's perspective?
Natalie, and first of all, you hit on a key concept, and it's about how I work through things, right? First of all, how do I keep the lights on? Second of all, balancing business enablement versus technology debt, right? During the year or during the course of business, you get multiple leaders that come to you and they need to enable certain functions within their business segment. Sometimes you can do that with your technology that you already have, and sometimes you can't, and you have to invest in your technology to bring it up to speed. Sometimes you can't even entertain the questions at all because you're simply on a platform that is unupgradable and you need to shift and pivot to a new system. So it's really about Can I enable the business with my current technology, or do I need to make that investment now in my technology debt in order to enable future business processes?
So that almost sounds like that brings us into the third stage, which is aligning tech investment to strategic goals. And for those of you that have visited our website and where we talk about the 2025 CFO Retail Outlook Survey, technology is going to be a significant element in the success of retailers today. And one of the things there is we're talking about investment and aligning investment to their strategic goals. So maybe you can unpack some of that. How does this play a role in the decision making for retail CIOs?
Well, this is a huge piece of what a CIO or an IT leader needs to be considering. I talked about business enablement and business functions, but enabling a business function that doesn't align with your overall company goals as an organization, as I mentioned before, is probably a missed opportunity or a wasted investment in the organization. A retail organization nowadays has to be aligned together on what their goals are, and a CIO needs to be in tune with that and the technologies in place and how to fit those technology pieces into the overall strategic goals for an organization. So again, it's not really about enabling a business function. It's about enabling your business to meet or achieve their goals through the systems that you're investing in.
Right. I fully support that. I do think that aligning with technology, and again, whether it's more on the front end, whether it's from a demand generation or supply chain, I mean, there's so many ways where technology can play a critical role in the success of retailers. Thank you very much, Dan. And if you found this episode insightful, be sure to share with us and your friends and your colleagues. And don't forget to tune in next time so you can keep your finger on the pulse of the retail industry. Have a great day.
And that concludes this episode of BDO's 60-Second Retail Podcast. Don't forget to tune in for the next episode. To find more information on our hosts, guests, BDO's services, or listen to previous episodes of 60-Second Retail, please visit www.bdo.com/60-second-retail.